Welcome everyone to more open source Linux development live here on this channel. I continued obviously building stuff and actually I mounted it already. I continued the last days, so the fpic quirk, totally amazing, what a game changer of not having to manufacture stuff. Previous video yesterday. I also continued with some testing using my own stuff obviously, and like way more than my classic, I mentioned it a couple of times, last decade only maintained embedded server virtualization subset and like Xorg and Blackbox. T2 Linux, if you're new to the stuff, our T2 20 years in the making, the last 3+ years live on YouTube, so much better. Actually, we might actually be onto something. So thrilled. It's of course not yet perfect, but which Linux distribution, or even #peakbugs Mac OS Windows, which OS is, right? Also microkernel, right? I guess next we need a microkernel, but it's so much better, so much smoother. What a change 3+ years live on YouTube can actually freaking do to an open source project. Amazing stuff. Maybe you want to share, like, subscribe, Patreon, GoFundMe, OnlyFans, and all the other good stuff. Because so much stuff, I even fine-tuned some dependencies. I always knew our automated dependencies are not totally amazing. Did some low-hanging fruits, and boy, what it changed, not only 3+ years live on YouTube, but also like I always knew, just a little bit tweaking here and there, and yeah, attention to detail. It's not yet perfect. I mean, the long-term goal is to transform our not only cache dependencies, like cleaning those, making those better and stuff, and getting rid of our totally low-tech, numerically linearly sorted dependency order stuff. But with just some cleanup, and let's just clean up here another thing of, actually maybe we make here develop, is it RR probably, because it also failed. So 100 this is which was the, or can we, shit, we don't have scroll back, but which one is that here? I built quite some libcap pnp. Where would that be? Cap np. Linear dependency 138. Nah. Okay, let's make that 140. And yes, this is low tech. I'm aware of that. So that 140 something, and then certainly RR also builds, certainly Wine builds. I'm totally aware that after 2 years ago, I made a 7-hour massively mega updating KDE and another 6 or so hours massively updating GNOME live stream, because obviously I don't use it. I don't want to use it anymore because it's too broken, peakbugs and C and stuff. But yeah, next we need to tackle GNOME and KDE a little bit. But boy, is everything else so much more like soon. Not only my kid or wife could freaking install it, right? Totally amazing. Cheers. What I also did is I will publish this ISO also. All right, we can just run. It's fine. So this is the latest installation, and what I also did is previously, and so this is just the attention to detail and like even text usability, right? Of unsuccessful one-man. Unsuccessful one-man Linux distribution, for free even and priceless. In the long term, we will rewrite or refactor all the script stuff, because it's maybe also a little bit old-fashioned, everything in scripts. Over the years, I certainly made stuff easier and more usable, but it's just the small things, right? For example, normally if you check out T2 Linux or install it from an ISO and then want to install more, you don't have this config, right? I just deleted that. So previously, until like we can even, let's update that to 2022 08 20 or so. Actually, it's like just we totally do nothing here, right? Totally no work going on. Just in some days. So if you had freshly installed that and wanted to emerge on something, what would we want to emerge? I don't know what, NeoFetch doesn't matter much. I don't have that here. Probably. So that was until some days ago, right? That was the state for decades. for 15 years or so, which the emerge is even new from 15 years from me for improving, even 15 years improving usability. But so that's certainly not ideal, right? You have freshly installed it, you have checked it out, you want to emerge something, and then T2 tells you no config default font. And so I even changed, so you would run config, right? The reasoning was there are scripts like one config, one build, one download and stuff, like nicely grouped, but how you would normally structure that. And sure, you could argue that, but of course in the meantime, if you want to dominate the world and be the next big Linux distribution, obviously everything just needs to freaking just work TM, right? And so only yesterday I thought, you know what, this is too shitty, right? If after 20 years even the main lead developer, like lead senior developer is annoyed with, then maybe it sucks if even I get annoyed after 20 years, right? So I changed also even only like a year ago or 10 months or whatever, that previously if you run config, so normally you had to run config now, right? Because that is a config thing. And if you would just run that, it would not match precisely your T2 installed build, because you might have Musel, you might have Clang, you might have other security features, and that wouldn't match, right? So only like some month ago, I changed to copy the T2 installed config used for build here to the config. That's of course already one thing, but what I also did last night only is updating that to Trunk's head. If you now emerge that is new since last night, right? Because what a user wants is they install T2 and they just want to freaking use it and it works TM. So what is now new is that it runs the config instantly and that uses the installed config. Obviously, it's so easy, right? You wonder why have we not freaking done it for 15 years ago? So those tiny things, like, yes, it should have had been like that since the beginning of all time, right? And this is obviously, unarguably so much nicer, obviously, right? We probably also need a better T2 logo another day, I guess. So, cheers. One thing I noticed, so I fine-tuned lots of dependencies. KDE and GNOME will still not follow due to their sheer amount of dependency nightmare. Like, what is worse than Windows DLL hell? Probably KDE and GNOME dependency hell, probably. So here, thanks to those open source developers who created that mess there. The good news is we will not need another 6 or 7 hours like we needed like 2 years ago when we first massively mega updated that. We are obviously otherwise in a totally amazing shape also due to Data, our AI bot, doing daily updates here. Like also, like, did you know that QEMU is out? Like I woke up, like Data run, our lovely AI bot updating T2, and it's like, you wake up like unsuccessful woman in distribution. It's like, oh cool, our Data AI bot has already updated QEMU. Didn't even know that it's released. Probably you heard it here first, right? Because AI and automation. So yeah, super amazing, super thrilled. Again, fine-tuning, more fine-tuning, I'm totally aware. I just have now, after 20 years of running Linux distribution, starting a YouTube channel, keeping the PS3 port alive, so as Octane or other stuff, and Vintage and Retro. Oh, by the way, did I mention I patched some more Vintage and Retro XOC drivers, because obviously you want to have a Trident driver or an ATI driver, right? And yeah, next I have obviously a microkernel to write, because I want the future eventually. And I keep this maintaining obviously live on this channel, probably every other day, because there's just so much to do. And yes, next KDE and GNOME. I guess KDE and GNOME should only be some hours of dependency and update mess, not 6 or 7. All right, the one thing I wanted to do yesterday, I noticed that set shell doesn't download anymore. Maybe it does, no, it doesn't. It's like, yeah, the only constant is change. I probably must have built that, or Data, but it doesn't download anymore. Also, I really wonder, I mean, yeah, I should fix it. I know there are probably set shell lovers out there. Personally, I'm not one of those, but as one thing, I actually use this in our test suite. So I also wonder, this website looks really garbage. I mean, if people tell me our T2 website is shit, which, yes, it's not perfect, but we are an unsuccessful one-man kind of sort of one-man plus some contributors hobby project. But boy, is this, I mean, I'm aware that our websites are shit, but Anyway, I'm not really sure what's going up. I didn't quite bother checking this at midnight because I had better things to do. But why is this a slightly different website? Why is here 581? Wait a second. Ah, no, this is 581. So yeah, I have no idea. Oh, wait a second. Is it GitHub? No, project sample story, right? Something. Yeah, I mean, yeah. The only reason I would normally not care the most. Ah, here's source download. What's going on here? If it would not be for, why is here 5? Wait a second. 5.9. Why is here 5.9? The other website listed, wait a second, this news listed, oh no, there's 5.9. How did I? Oh, probably that was so. Anyway, looks like there is even a freaking update, so it's the usual win-win of, is it even marked? The only other major reason, except like having set shelf and something to play along at home with C2 Linux at home, is that I use it in our test suite because I mentioned it before. Bash prints out this for fork processes job PID stuff, something which annoys me in my test suite. So I'm actually using, I think it was mostly that reason that I use set shelf in our test suite. Let's see what's going on here with, so this is coming from SourceForge though. Is it previously, so yeah, somehow they probably, it looks like they've abandoned from like an outside first glance look here. It looks like they've abandoned their own FTP server or stuff. It's like, it's odd stable. So yeah, whatever is going on there, the only thing is we are down. I can't copy and paste that. Okay, we can, let's do that here locally, not in the local workstation. Yeah, data is only so much. We probably need to either work on or wait for Don Carmack's general artificial intelligence for an even better like data 2.0 to actually read the freaking web pages for news, I guess. Because there's only so much data can do with the. By the way, do they have docs or why is here or should we? Anyway, come on. Why is this? Thank you very much. Nah. This is somehow some. Probably need to run the very latest version, like the usual violent marginalities. Also, what is with the doc package? Do they have here doc 2 or dev? Oh, they have doc here separated because I should. Oh wait, maybe we'd better check the download URL. Oh yeah, they have such doc, I guess here. So the only thing, so for SourceForge we have our own mirror translation. Does it download like that? This is always, I don't do this. Also, SourceForge changed that a couple of times, which is obviously pretty freaking annoying. So yeah, welcome everyone. Yeah, we will. I will probably make a summary on the more main channel. If you have not subscribed to that one, it's probably a good time to do that. I had previous discussions of what I would want to do. I will update the summary and then start working on that. Here, I hope you're doing well too. Kickstarter on any other funding regular for the microkernel thing is potential for financial support from the community. I'm not sure if people, I mean, if they already know, don't use Patreon is the most. Some people unsubscribed already because maybe I don't post there. So yeah, it's not that much. I mean, it's more than nothing. So I'm certainly thankful for that, but not what in most of the world you can finance a microkernel for. I also imagine the usual, like, not invented here, people getting pissed because, or either like too many people like performance, we're not believing in microkernel because you're low performance, and other stuff, and then not getting something for that and so on. So if you want to support that, I'm not really sure. Also, this GoFundMe raised a little bit. Is that here somewhere, like here probably? it raised a little bit, but yeah, I mean, yeah, it doesn't even cover running cost of the website alone, for example. Let alone getting some hardware for either presenting here live on YouTube or developing with. But so yeah, Kickstarter, I'm not even sure. I'm not even sure. Do they allow virtual goods like software? I'm not sure. But there are already different means. The only other thing, maybe I'm totally not pro cryptocurrency shit. But some people said sometimes they would donate some crypto, which I always like, yeah, you know, whatever, you had made crypto. Maybe I open some crypto wallet thing just to receive donations. But because otherwise, there is YouTube membership, there is GitHub sponsor, there is GoFundMe or Patreon or direct PayPal on the website. So also some people donated a little bit. Like now with this YouTube channels, obviously, like for 10 years I got nothing. And now I got a little bit, which is obviously is amazing. Here I download it. And probably I should also need to modernize and better structure the website and list. So there are already probably 5, if not. You can also super chat or super thanks. And so there is already plenty, or just buy the new merch, which some people did already. So I think we had already 3 or so merch sales, which probably I should actually freaking spend a minute to. The annoying thing is with this big mega corporations, you always would think everything is so set up and so, but I need to, no kidding, each freaking live stream I can actually show that. Actually, this was, wait, here, there. Each freaking live stream, I need to click those bloody products here, and each time other stuff shows, like today, not much shows. That is bizarre. Usually, it's hilarious. The cup, where is? I don't know. This is, and then architecture. So it doesn't even. Here's some though. T2. And then it's also like there's an US store and an EU store, and here, it's in German. That is why why does this know? Why does it search but then doesn't find something? That is also hilarious. Okay, so much to, you see what a pain it is. You can't make this shit up. And then you think mega corporations, they should totally have their additional. It's like, yeah, thank you very much. Usually there are more products than this, which is hilarious. No, there are no more products. Usually there are some t-shirts, but even when there are more products listed, I can't usually even select what I want because it's not listed there. So yeah, big mega corporations, totally not peak bugs. And then I need to click it and click it again, and it's hilarious. Anyway, such shell. So let's check source. But yeah, if you have further comments, also if you watch this later or years later, leave them in the comments below. Besides, I'm sometimes joking of maybe I should abandon IT and just open a beach coffee and enjoy my life. Maybe I should actually open a freaking cyber cafe, like maybe a vintage retro themed, and put some old Power Mac on the wall or stuff. Maybe like here locally in Berlin. Oh, maybe a coffee chain could become as successful as Starbucks in contrast to an unsuccessful Linux distribution. But no, so set shell. What did we usually use here? Oops. Okay, this is also not ideal. Let's DL SourceForge. I really hate this bloody download mirror multiplexer stuff. SourceForge project. Okay, we could try that. Maybe SourceForge. I think ACP ID was one of the latest ones I updated recently that worked. Maybe it doesn't. I'll see in a second. You're on Patreon. Happy to hear that. Yeah, I mean, the problem is also as long as I can't pay my rent and food for the family, I obviously still need to run a company. So I can't also like promise Kickstarter or so. If, or like, okay, I could like 100,000, but there's also not that much. I mean, yeah, sure, if it lasts a year or two, but yeah, life is expensive, especially, you know, in Europe, USA, North America. Even if you are pretty cent counting, Scrooge McDuck, and save everywhere and slay you. Even, I mean, I don't think we would collect like 100,000. And if that should pay for my salary and I totally stretch it for 2 years of stuff, I mean, I would still earn more selling our Mac software, which is probably why I, instead of having that challenge with community Kickstarter and stuff and unfulfilled promises, rather run it as a hobby in part-time and still being able to make some money with Mac software stuff. Anyway, it's long story short, it's difficult, and I think it's the most fair for the community of just donating a little bit, some $1 a month. If some thousand more people would do that, that would already make quite a difference. And keeping it fair and simple and cheap for everyone. So, the SourceForge. Let's maybe ACPI. What was it? DR SourceForge that has this HDL SourceForge. Net SourceForge project name. SourceForge project name. Maybe without project. Yeah, I should make some more note. This is super annoying to Bruce. Oh, wait a second, this is also wrong. Should this not downloading? Should this not print out to force in the mirror? Found cached mirror. Downloading. Where is even? HTTPS DR ISO. SourceForge. That is hilarious. Misc archive. The only reason is this mirrors also sometimes disappears. You might wonder why do I do this extra effort. This was actually meant to have people download. Where is it even? Share. Download. People to be able to change their SourceForge mirror, like here. This is changing to PR downloads, HTTP. Maybe this is interesting. We probably would want that with HTTPS as well. Yeah, SourceForge also changed that. That was working pretty. Did it by the way print that it? Oh, wait a second. No, it's downloading something. It wasn't the fastest to connect somehow, but not so. Yeah. I probably need to sanitize sanitize and clean up and streamline all the SourceForge because we have so different styles over the years. Also, like, it was totally trouble-free like 15 years ago, but somehow SourceForge constantly kept messing with the bloody mirror stuff. Anyway, so yeah, another win-win of not only fixing this download, but updating such shell. This the stuff of moving websites that data obviously misses. Alright, I wanted to test emerge also some Alacrity or so. And The recurring reason I do that here is mostly for testing, right? Testing the most testing, and making sure. So this will be an interim release. Ah, cool. This is also what? Network failure. Hello, network. All right, pings is user network. Works though. What's going on here? Does it? Maybe it needs Git. Maybe I don't have Git installed, or does it? Maybe it doesn't need Git. Ah, darn. Control C in the wrong moment. Yeah, Control C in the wrong moment. I also need to improve. Okay, set shell H. That sounds a bit like. What does aerodynamic do? Maybe re-stem. Nah. Probably don't have Git, huh? Not sure if it needs Git, but what does it build? Tick, doc. It's building a little bit more than I wanted. Let's test build. Some stuff will fail, maybe docbook X. The other stuff should largely build though. I don't really feel like test building all of this. Some stuff, yeah, some stuff does still fail, which is a shame. No, that's a bit. So next on my to do is also eventually, but after some Hello World microkernel things, improving emerge further, so that it would ask like we want to auto detect most dependencies with our fileless sandbox tracking, but we probably want to go and mark optional dependencies so that emerge would ask, hey, you want to emerge Git, you have this, and that optional dependencies for man page and stuff reasons, or script language bindings, and that would certainly be very, very helpful and cool improvement. So what's going on here with Alacrity? All right, I also wanted to, okay, this is still network failure. This is a little bit, wait a second, SSL certificate. Oh wait, did I not emerge? Maybe right. Did I not install them? CA certificates. I didn't install them. That explains the thing. Actually, we probably good that I see that I had that on my to-do. I had on my to-do to probably ship them by default. That obviously sucks big times. And this is all the attention to detail, right? We have the packages and stuff, and even I need to look closely to see what exactly is going on there. That needs to obviously work smoother by default. No, it probably does something. Set shell. So actually I wanted to info GCC, and that also works. And linker options, pass, export dynamics to the targets that supported this. All symbols, not only used ones. So dynamic. Interesting. But so this is the crazy stuff. So most likely my recurring fight here with LTO, so we LTO that. And even though set shell passes aerodynamic, export dynamic to the elf linker, it's optimizing that apparently away, I guess. Which is certainly recurrently crazy that then no LTO or stuff. I mean, what good is recurrently criticism? What good is LTO with program if it doesn't even freaking like work in sort of normal? Wait a second, why is this 581? Or did I? Or maybe I did. I only update. I did update that manually and didn't update that. Yeah, recurrently had scratching off. Yeah, that is certainly, yeah. while we are at it, what's going on? Right, foreground Alacrity there. And then let's add the CA certificates. To some minimal CA. Are they ready? They are not even marked to cross-compile apparently. Oops. Okay, Alacrity still builds soul set shell. Another small step for a shell, another bigger step. Yes, this is crazy. Even with our dynamics, you can't make this stuff up. I have increasingly no words anymore for this LTO with program situations. That is, for the most part, somewhat silly though. What we could do is LTO that partially, but I guess I would need, we have here shared. Yeah, so for that we probably, wait a second. Did I not implement so shared and nothing? Or if we so the I implemented already recursive options, right? So I guess it could already work if we, I think we did right hand side recursion, so did this also build? Yep. Alacrity also, yeah, mostly amazing stuff, right? Also, maybe we should check 1 second if Alacrity is the latest version. Also, usually data should do that, but I don't know. 10.1. What did we build here? Where have I been? All right, right hand side here. So this was our dynamic. Is that probably in the log file? All right, probably. Where's my set show log file? Okay, let's. Or is it? Wait a second. Not that it's due to my outdated system, just because it's a little bit. Let's commit it like that. And then test build it here in the VM. And welcome everyone. Yeah, the set probably can run. Yeah, we have post commit stuff, just probably nobody. In an installation it would run. Certificates, we don't have that. Let's copy some post install here. What does it even do? This was a typo. Query also started looking here. I don't really quite like that here, to be honest. Someone added here, it's certainly not me. In my opinion, this should not really auto-build a Mary. Doesn't surprise me. It should have a stone module, or it should not just, so it just generated the key, right? This should be manually triggered. I wouldn't auto-generate security keys. We usually have a stone module for secure for OpenSSH. I wouldn't do it like that, but leave its comments below. Yeah, so that probably can run like that, I would say. There is that secure shell. Actually, that is interesting that it builds. So maybe there is some. I don't have the very latest GCC, which do I even have? But anyway, this is obviously way more consistent. This other is my probably how long? More than 5 years rolling release sometimes, and we improved so much, right? So yeah, wait a second. Ah, no, this is actually, no, it is not my, this is VM. It's actually not that old. Anyway, maybe the switch GCC do I even have here? It's somewhere new. So interestingly, in the very latest VM it built for some reason. Because otherwise we could have further, like if shared or dynamic. Because what is it? Dynamic. But okay, it's, yeah, interesting. Slightly wonder why it works in this. But we have, or do we not have LTO? Oh no, conditional. Shared tool program. sfpig. Looks like it then otherwise. Yeah, SR dynamic and S shared. Yeah, then it works for now. Interesting. Good that I double checked that. Probably should. I mean, this is a relatively new VM. But maybe not new enough. 1 year old is already. Anyway, good that we tested that, updated another thing. Yeah, I guess I tested enough for today. Some easy win-wins here, making T2 one of the greatest Linux distributions some hours a day. Hope you learned something and enjoyed this. All right, let's do one more build. It probably should build CA certificates, or and then we release that. What's the name of the dist? The dist is T2. It has a website, not only GitHub. And happy that you joined for the stream today. We could remove that. Oh, this builds a little bit more than I expected, but then scheduling. Let's one final build. Not sure why what we touched with GCC though. Wasn't the most necessary, but nothing really of the most importance. But then I release this ISO as an interim build. So usually we release a 24, 26 architectures here. And so my plan is, the last years I always wondered how we release this here. I will probably target 1 or 2 major releases a year, and in between something when we otherwise achieved quite some major updates or steps, release it only for x86 for the regular people to test at home. Or sometimes ARM64, whatever I feel like, or majorly did that month. And just so that we have reliable and archived point releases and tarballs, and more people to test it, more people to test latest and greatest, and certainly news coverage also helps. We have a Git mirror, which I only mirror. So it's Subversion, because that's what we did when Subversion was state of the art, and we didn't really ever much had the need. There's a GitHub mirror, which I probably should keep updated more often than not, but that is here. So yeah, that's it for this video. Totally thrilled, very thrilled how much progress we made. Couldn't be more happy with supporting so much random, vintage and retro and state-of-the-art stuff. And that's it for this lunch break. Hope you learned something. Don't forget to share, like, subscribe, maybe. Also the main channel there, and probably that channel corner. Hope you learned something. Have a good day or night, and hope to see you soon for the next fun stuff and development to come.